Welcome to my channel. My name is Adegboye. If you're new here, welcome. I feel about faith, relationship and lifestyle from Ogun State, Nigeria. Welcome to my channel. And for the returning subscribers, thank you so very much for always coming back. This is ESTHER Oyekule, CEO of BERACAH. Hey, God.
How you know? You're not even saying I have my friend here or something.
Let me finish. I'm in our studio. The studio, no. But then it's looking like a studio already. See my beautiful something at the back. I have my friend here, a very special person. Oh my God, what she has done for me in this life. And like, stop giving me face. I can see you. It means I'm supposed to be looking at this place. First of all, she made this for me. Tell her thank you. Tell her thank you. Tell her thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah. Her name is ESTHER Oyekune. She's the CEO of BERACAH CREATIONS. Did you hear when I did the inside my mind? So, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. And what space is to you.
My name is ESTHER Oyekule. I'm an event planner. And Faith is my friend. My very good friend.
My head is swelling. But I'll be jealous. I'm sorry, but you know. See this thing here?
The paper flowers.
Oh my God, she made them for me. Anyways, I noticed that I think it was when I became your friend on Facebook.
Okay.
There was a time that you always how do I put it now? It was like as if service here was a big deal. I had not been in service at that time, so it was every time I see a post about, oh, this is like the best year you've ever lived, even after service, it still was like a big deal to you. So we just want to discuss why was that. That's number one, and okay, that's not number one, but it's going to be part of the questions. Like, what was service here to you?
Service here. Okay. After graduating from school, did I have plans? I can't really say that I told myself that maybe when I'm in service, I'm going to learn this or I'm going to do that. I'm not sure. I just wanted to go for service.
I didn't want to go for service.
I wanted to go.
Before my baby.
I wanted to go for service, but I didn't really have any expectations or anything. I knew I wanted to go for service. No. Okay, I didn't really have much of expectations like that. But I think when I was in 400 level, I met with a sister, and the sister she was discussing with me. She served in Adegboye state.
Okay.
At that time, she wanted to go for a master's degree. So she came back to school to, all these, what do they call it? That, all this letter recommendation-ish. So she wanted to leave the country and all that. She had finished serving. I think I was in 400 level. So she just came and she was talking to me about service here, that, oh, this and that, everything. She said in Adegboye state. I was like, oh, Adegboye, that's far. How did you go? How did they allow you? Why? And everything. So she was like, she enjoyed her service here, everything. She was an executive. She was the assistant drama director. I was like, how did it happen? Like, she was just explaining to me, and I was like, oh, that was good. I said, me, as I'm going for service, let me finish what I want to finish.
I feel like many people just want that.
Let me finish what I want to finish, come back, do my masters, all those things. But then I got back home and it was time to go for service. I went to register, picked 4 states. When I picked my favorite ones, okay, one particular one I wanted wasn't on the list. So I found myself picking Adegboye state. But I was like, no, they can't post me to that boring state that sister served in. No. I was just my sister. That day I was with my elder sister, and they told us that what did they call that thing? That was
later.
Everything.
I still remember.
My sister was like, okay, my sister was all checking. She was like, Esther, Adegboye state. And I started crying.
Really?
I cried.
In my own time, I don't. My oh God, the reactions I had about from my own friends.
But you did internship in Abuja now. So
But then maybe because of course it was not far. But then I already still said anywhere God wants to. But that was not where they wanted. If it was family, whatever.
Okay.
They wanted me to be in another place. They were ready for that. I was like, okay, I was going to move or not. And then I wanted to still be in Abuja as itself. The reactions of my friends, oh my God. You see, course. Because of course they had done some connections and all of that. Okay, continue your story. Let me continue.
No.
I've finished the part of where.
Anyway, so I saw it and I started crying. God. Well, I actually wanted Ogun State. I wanted Ogun State. So when I saw Adegboye, I was like, not even. So I started crying and God. I even chose a kitty. They should have given me. I didn't see Ogun State actually.
Okay.
But then I was expecting a miracle, maybe.
Nothing.
So when Adegboye came, I cried. I was like, God, no. Then I called my mom. My mommy, they put them. My mom was like, she sang one Yoruba song that go say Uje one. She was like, Jesus is there. That I should go. That I will go. New. I went to my dad too. My dad said, wow, I served in the old Anambra State. That was Adegboye, Enugu and Kinikon. When they were still matched together, I was like, what are we saying? What is this thing? So my dad, they were all excited. My parents were just very, but my sister was the only one that was like, okay, you'll be fine, don't worry. So to cut the long story short, that day I went, packed my things. I was so unhappy. I was like, Adegboye State. The only thing I knew about Adegboye State was that my sister that had served. So when I was traveling, she even came with me to the park. She was like, don't worry, you'll be fine, everything. I said, okay. So I got to the camp. I was like, God, no. This is camp. This is the camp. No. I was sad. I was depressed. None of my friends, nobody I knew.
Same here. Nobody I knew was posted to my place.
So it wasn't really this thing for me. But then after I decided to encourage myself in the Lord, I had to tell myself that, babe, you are a light. Wherever you are, you still have to shine. So serve God, love God, and live. It's just for a year. So
when you not talk about serving God, some people just feel like, well, I want to love God and serve God, but let me just be in my own space on a low key. Exactly. Did you have that like expectation of just being by yourself, just serve God, let me just live? But because I noticed that in some of your posts, it was like you were really involved, you really served during your service here. So what was it for you transitioning to having the big, not like big, but like having to serve God in a very big way?
Okay. When on my first day in Adegboye State, Abakaliki, all these brethren that will be at the park to receive you. So I went with my church bus and I got to their family house. It was so nice. I was like, but then I had heard about NCCF before I went, because that sister that actually spoke with me, she served in NCCF, like I said, and all of that.
You cannot even finish from NCCF and not talk about it when you come back. I'm sorry.
So she had told me about it, but then I was still like, okay. I made up my mind that okay, she got so much from it. I think that I want to go there. So on my first day in Abakaliki, I went with my church. And I was there, so they were trying to talk to me that they knew me, something that I should, when I'm in camp, I should make sure I attend fellowships and all of that. I was like, fine, definitely I will. But when I got to camp, and I said, okay, this NCCF they normally talk about, I went to the chapel. It wasn't a service time, but I just went to the chapel that day. I saw the chapel, I was like, okay. But then, since I already made friends with people from my church, I was always going to their tent, saying hi, saying hello, and all of that. So sometimes during their services, I would attend. But I didn't forget it that I wanted to attend NCCF. So anytime, some friends I made in my platoon and all of that, they're like, oh, have you heard about NCCF? Are you going for the service? I'm like, yes, that's true. I plan going. So I started going for their evening services as well. So on some days I would go to my church, I would attend my church and this thing. On some days I would attend NCCF and all of that. So on the last Sunday in camp, they said, okay, so I actually joined the Bible study unit. I joined the Bible study unit, I think on my second week. But I was always that very reserved. I was just looking, just listening. If they ask me questions, but I was just that. I wasn't really close with anyone. I didn't get to, except some of my fellow coppers, that all that chat. So on the last Sunday, they just said, okay, we've been watching some people and want to announce the people that we serve in the service CRB, something. They started calling names. When I was just on my seat, I was in my space, I think I was pressing my phone and I was just my thing. Then I heard Oyekunle Esther Bowen University. I was like, well, I don't understand. Come and see and you know now NCCF Sunday services, the whole crowd.
Very.
And I was sitting at the back. I was even, people brought attires from home, they Sunday clothes, but me, I didn't carry any clothes.
Same.
It was just the NYSC.
Oh, I carried it. It was when we got there that time.
I didn't carry.
Our own state coordinator said
nobody should
clothes.
wear. My sister carried a lot of clothes when she was going. So and she regretted it. So she told me that when you are going, don't carry anything. So I didn't carry any. I didn't take even one cloth. So the only thing I was always wearing was I had to buy the NCCF shirt and khaki trouser. That was what I was wearing that day with their NCCF caps. Yeah. So I went out. Everybody was wearing Sunday clothes. I was the only one. Now said, kneel down. They will pray for us. They will welcome us. I had to raise my hand during the meeting. I'm sorry, what exactly are we going to be doing? He said that all of us are going to the state house. That when we get there, we'll understand. So we got to the state house, and that was the beginning.
The beginning of the best of life we lived yet, because I'm sure there's still more.
Yes.
Did you how would I put this question now? How were you able to adjust to, okay, say you had a church before,
okay,
and all of that. How were you able to let other people accept that you are in another, not like another, people don't understand what NCCF is.
That is interdenominational.
It's not like it's a church or anything. So how were you able to convince the people that already has an idea that, oh, Esther is going to this church and we'll all continuously be there and all of that? Because for me, when I joined NCCF, it was like not like a problem, maybe because I had an understanding parents. The day I even told them was the day we were doing. And when NCCF they just came, they just said, they're going to, I was even in state congress when the bishop called me and he was like, we just did, I forgot the name of that thing. And it was like, you've been elected, I've been chosen as the music director, the clinical director, you shall counted almost 4. I said, sir. He said, when you come back, you will explain. I said, I don't understand. I didn't. But anyways, that's a story for another day maybe. So telling my parents was not another thing. Like, okay, how do I tell them that I am in this now? It's not like I'm going to be outside the church and all of that. So how was your own experience?
Okay. I think my parents are liberal. They have that confidence in their children that
that's number one.
Any choice you make is definitely God's will, or you have prayed about it for you to have made that decision. Okay, before going for service, my mommy was already looking at me like, you this girl. But I told her, I said, mommy, NCCF. I said, what was NCCF? I had already given them this thing. And I told my sister as well that, sis, I'm going to NCCF. She said, hey.
Let me even tell them that our sister, by God's grace, was one used of God. When I got to Nasarawa State Camp, the first day like this, and Mama Lizzie just called me. How are you, Faith? And I was like, NCCF. When I was even telling Esther yesterday that, so Mama Lizzie that shared NCCF story with me that I should try and attend and check. She was like, Mama Lizzie never went to NCCF. Oh.
She never went. So when I was telling her that, no, I'm attending NCCF, she was like, you don't know anything about it. I said, Esther, just attend your church this thing. I was like, yes, I will, but I want to attend NCCF. But then they were like, okay, that's fine if that's what you want to do and all of that. So I told you that I went with them on the first day of camp, on the first day getting there. So they were already like, okay, I'm welcome, this and that. But then, I was always attending their fellowships also. I was always trying to do the two together. But on the last day in camp, when they called me as an executive, even though they had not told us our office is there, but then one of my church brethren had to go to my state president then that, why did you snatch our church member?
I feel like they do that a lot.
Why did you snatch our church member? We had this thing for her, everything. So he had to no, I didn't snatch her, it was God. God needs her. God needs her in the fellowship.
And we can't determine where God needs us.
So he had to give up. So I told him, I said, don't worry now, that I've heard about NCCF, that services only happen in the afternoon, that definitely, and the family houses, it's not as if they are far from another, so definitely I would still come around. They was like, okay, fine. He now said, I hope the office they will give you will not be the office that you will not be able to come back and visit us frequently. I was like, office, don't worry now, it's just be one minor.
You didn't know.
Don't worry, it's just be something. It won't be something this time. So I got to the family house. Okay, I've answered that question of how did I balance with what people said and all of that. But I mean, it was a decision I made, and definitely was backed up. Like, God was there, because I never even saw myself as an executive. I was never close to any one of them. But then it was so obvious that God wanted me to serve them.
So what happens to people that, some of us, we have been used to a place, like, I don't know, there's this thing of maybe God wants you somewhere else. Okay, first of all, would you say that you being in another place different from where you have been brought up added to you? Because sometimes people feel like, oh, when God wants me to be in somewhere, maybe God wants me to impact in people's lives and all of that. Were you also touched being in the right place?
I don't understand. Being in
NCCF.
Was I touched?
Yes. Understatement, right?
Okay. So when I got to the family house, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, they decided to unveil our offices.
Oh, okay. They never told you what your office was. Wow.
They never did. It was when we got to the family house. They said they were going to unveil our offices. Of course, I had watched everything going. I was just trying to look at myself. That which office did they even give me? Boya Bible assistant, Bible study secretary. That was actually what was in my head. And some persons will be whispering, so this Esther will be assistant Bible study secretary. I think that was what I thought. It was the state house. So that they started calling names, and they started from all those publicity.
Yeah.
They started from something like the smallest office. So they kept going. I did not hear my name. I was even feeling like maybe they had removed me or something. I wish I count there. They now said the last executive, because of course we had a president. I was part of the transitional executive.
Yes. Is always the
yes. So we had the president and the general secretary.
To the next batch.
So of course I had to be the last person. So they now said the last person is the state assistant secretary. And they called my name. Where I was just like, no, not this office. No. So I went there. I was now crying. It was really so.
I remember when something like this happened to me in school. All I thought was that, okay, by God's grace, I know how to sing. If you put me in this place, I know that I hear. So I had always been in the choir, and I felt like if anything is going to come, if any post is going to come, or music, choir mistress, and all of that, I was ready. When I heard what I heard when I was in uni, even me, I shouted. The people in the church still tell me so today that would you have like the expression I gave. So I feel I guess that this was.
I saw a picture when someone, I don't know if you saw it, a caption. Someone was lying on the ground, and then there was a caption, when God puts you in a place that is more than you, or something like that. And the person had to that day, when I was like, who am I? I can remember that song. Who am I? That the Lord of all the earth. That was just what I was just singing and all of that. So okay, thank you for answering that. What at that time, how has it been a big deal? Because I know there will be a lot of experiences being in NCCF. Yes. So much. Especially being in the state house, a lot of persons. I think in the house at that time, we're not less than 100.
That space, of course I know.
We're not less. Aside
you have houses, this house.
That's even we had Destiny Sisters, People Sisters, Virtuous Damsels, Isaka Brothers, Lion of David, Big Brother of David, or whatever. So we had different wings, and aside from the extension brethren. So it was so challenging, trust me. It was the sweetest year of my life, but the most challenging. I normally said I was stretched, I was drained. A lot of persons saw my pictures at that time.
You reduced.
and they were like, what is happening? Are you suffering? It was like being in the brethren of like in the midst of like-minded brethren. There are times when I was always in the office. I had to do office work, do minutes and all of that. Every time I'm going to the office, I was in the chapel. I was just hearing people praying. So most times I'll just go to my office as well, put my head on the table and say, God, what you want me to learn in this 1 year? Help me. I want to learn it. Living with a lot of sisters in the room, your patience, everything will be tried.
So even when I was trying, when they said, come and live with us, no. Thank you. But that grace, I don't have it yet.
Some persons will say, how will I stay in their family? I will not be able to cook. I will not be able to do this. There are so many rules. But I'm like, okay, maybe not really because I went to a private university. But I guess that I just like to be in an enclosed. I think normally I like to be in somewhere very enclosed. I don't know. But then it taught me patience. At that time, the state president, I was working closely with the state president and the secretary. I normally do monthly recharge for them. I'll be in my room. My state president would need recharge card. I'll say, okay, you call me, hello, Auntie, please, I need recharge card. I'll say, okay, so I'll send it to you. And you tell me, no, come upstairs. And I'm like, sir, please, I'm doing something. He's like, no, bring the card upstairs. I'm like, God.
That time you say, because if not for church, because I know if there's some feminism, but you'll be like, my husband can't do this.
No, that was why sometimes I would be like, God, can't someone just understand that I also have my life? Can't someone just understand that as far as this service and work of God, I also have my, because those times I would be like, okay, I want to prepare for my exams. I was preparing for an exam at that time. That you should understand, but you'd be like, you should be in the office. What are you doing? And I'm like, I have another life outside NCCF, So all those things, there are some persons that they will look at you and say, your voice is not loud. Can you make it louder? different things. I was just like, God, so many things. But then the fellowship, one would learn love. You will learn how to love different kinds of pets, like dealing with different kinds of people. It was like a practical aspect for me. In school, I did communication. I learned about temperament and behavior. I loved the behavioral part of my course because we did behavioral change, communication, and all of that. So it was like the practical. I had studied about people, temperaments, attitude.
Now you saw people.
So I saw people. People that I did not see in school, all through school. I saw people. People older than you that would be ready to do this. People younger than you that don't even. A lot of things. I learned patience. I learned service. I learned how to it's not your will. It's what the people want. My brothers, the general secretary and the president, they go to Jos every 3 months for a meeting. So I was always in charge of the house, and sometimes there's no time. But then after devotion, family house members want us to sing family house song. And I know that takes a lot of time.
Very long.
And I'm like, it's just 5 minutes. But then I just have to apply wisdom. I just have to okay, now let's just sing. We're not singing, just sing the last part. So you just have to serve them. You just have to trust God for wisdom.
Even if members have not been attentive, but there's no how you not be attentive in NCCF fellowship. But even if you have not been, that family song time, you are ginger to just stand up and sing it.
Basically I learned so much. I learned service, I learned patience, I learned tolerance, I learned leadership, I learned a lot. So, living with people, feel like living with people, you don't have your space, you don't have your this, but you don't know, actually, we don't always know. God actually wants to deal with a part of us. There are some things that God will take us through because it's for our grooming. He wants to groom us. He's taking us to, when I was in school, I was a devotion leader from 200 level. I was always waking people up.
Oh, wow.
In the morning.
I
did not know that, it was just the hostel. I was just my hostel now. But I didn't know that there was something more that I will now have to be waking both sisters and brothers. This one I'll be going around and ensure that everybody attends devotion. So it was like a preparation for me. God had been preparing me. And so service here came. So I was ready to do everything God wanted me to do. Because I knew that it's preparing me also for something
else. Yes.
That is coming.
Yes. Yes, thank you. That's a very deep rema, and I know you've caught it if you have. Yeah, so now that, and you also are a business person, BERACAH Creations, I was trying to do the name, say the name very well. Did you get direction when you were in service here? I feel like many people are confused when it comes to, what next after service.